Sup? It is our second day of this whole 30-ish days of making all these videos live so everybody can see them. So that, hey, I'm on YouTube. Hey, I'm on Patreon. Subscribe, become a patron, so I can keep doing this, and let me know how you like it. So, anyway, this video is going to be a bit longer. It is super late in the day, which, with these special videos, it does tend to happen. So, yeah. We're going to talk about the Celtic cast. That is because the Celtic Tree Month of Ivy has started today. So I'm going to talk about the energy, look at where the sun is, where the moon is from a Western astrological perspective, and then touch on the numerology of this day in particular for this year, and just like all right now. And then how we're going to bring it together and share some of the things that I did. And yeah, at this point, it doesn't matter whether it inspires you, right? Because the day's over. Oops, my bad. But because the Celtic Tree Month is going to continue, and because the sun sign is going to continue for a while, you can take some of this energy forward if you would like, and hopefully it will inspire you and help you in the coming weeks, days, whatever. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm Aradia Noari. I am the resident witch and creatrix over to Radia's Hand and Danae's Divine, where I create myth, magic, and meaning for your everyday life through art, intuition, and energy work. And it's time for a Celtic cast! So, one other thing about this, all these videos are originally on my Patreon. They get hosted over on YouTube. Usually I have them unlisted or hidden so you can't see them, link them, and you can only see them if you're a Patreon. If you're a patron. So I want to do something a little different for October, and for the entirety of October, and actually I started this yesterday, I'm going to make all of the videos public so that more people can see them and see what happens. I hate experiments so much, but I'm trying to do something different, so I don't even know what I'm trying to do. Like, that's not accurate. I have some goal, but I don't have really high hopes that it's going to happen. So I won't be disappointed. Pessimistic optimist. Yeah. Oh, wow. This doesn't have we have to title this thing. So, and as always, if you want to hear some of the stuff more succinctly, you can check out the description box below. And what I do there is, this is an outline, so I kind of riff off of these notes that I don't necessarily pay a huge amount of attention to, so that if you would prefer to read, you could read. If you prefer to watch, you could watch. If you want the whole shebang, you gotta do both. Yeah. So, the whole thing about the Celtic Tree Months is that is from the Celtic system of astrology, and each of the months, about 30 days-ish, right, has a tree and an animal, technically, that is associated with it. And it's usually, like most other calendars, based on a lunar year, because the Gregorian calendar is just, it's trash. Like, it really is. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work. And we should just be using a lunar calendar like I think everybody else does, and it would just make more sense. But hey, whatever, what do I know? Not a moon child or anything, not biased. Nope. So this system looks at energy much like you would look at it from a Western perspective, only with trees. And this is from the Ogham alphabet, and it is a system of, I think it's actually 13 trees, or 13 signs, because there's the nameless day, which is just one day, and it's nothingness. It's in December, by the way. We'll talk about it when we get there. So I treat this energy in this way. So over the next couple of weeks, this is the energy that's very prevalent. These are the natural things that are coming up. This is the symbolism that'll be stronger, and you would see the same thing when people use Western astrology or any other system, when it's applied beyond a person. So you can tap into this energy because it's stronger now. Not that you can not tap into it any time, like whenever you want, but this is the most conducive time for this particular energy system. So there you go. The Celtic Tree Sign for today to the 27th of October is ivy. So ivy is a vine. It's actually vaguely parasitic, right? Ivy will take down buildings. It will take down trees. It is all about perseverance. It's all about surviving even when the odds are not great and making shit work and making things happen. So the energy that you're getting from this plant is that you need to keep going. It's not time to give up yet. You have to push through, grit your teeth, you know, bolster yourself, right? Because it's a vine and so it wraps around things. Anchor yourself to whatever you can and go for it. So, from a artistic perspective, if you've been having trouble with a project, if it's not working, don't give up on it yet. Keep going. Maybe get help, right? Find support through another person, through a teacher, book, a class to help you get through the bumps and the rocky bits that aren't working for you. And then keep going and see it through. Because at the end of the journey, at the end of this fight and this struggle, you will have something that you will appreciate so much more than if it was easier to come by. Now, of course, yes, it's nice when things are easy. It's nice when they're pleasant and they come, but there's a degree of appreciation we have when we have to fight for something, when we have to actually put forth effort and exert ourselves, because then you know that you earned it, if you will. Which is not to say free stuff isn't good. I like free stuff. Do you like free stuff? I love free stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. From an intuitive and magical perspective, I would say much the same thing. If there's something that you've been trying to manifest, if there's answers that you've been seeking, don't give up yet. Keep up with the energy that supports it. So if you've been doing magic, keep up the magic. Add something else to it. You know, do more chanting, do another spell, do something that supports it. Feed, sorry, this is going to be interesting. The energy, you know, keep it going, you know, make more offerings, ask for additional support from other energies or entities. So there's that. But also, you know, keep seeking. And when I say keep seeking as far as intuition goes, don't keep asking the same damn question that you've been asking. Like, no. Just don't give up looking for signs. Don't dismiss that because something isn't clear yet, that it won't become clear in the future. Because again, this is about resilience and perseverance, and that means you stay the course and you keep going. So, from an Western astrological perspective, and we just look at the sun and the moon because there are other planets, other energies, but I want to keep this simple. And I'm relating this from a very witch perspective. So it is a very intuitive interpretation of all of these energies, specifically with regards to intuition and magic and creativity and inspiration. So bear that in mind. With the sun, so the sun is crossing over during the tree month from Libra to Scorpio. Right now, the sun is in Libra, and Libra is a cardinal sign. It's a cardinal air sign, and it is about partnership and connection. And as a Venus ruled, it loves beauty, it loves pleasantries, it loves nice things. They're usually charming and charismatic. And so this is a good time to enjoy that kind of energy, to enjoy the company, to, you know, have good conversations with people that you want to be around. You know, surround yourself with good memories and relate to people, you know, and especially people you like. Let's try not to relate to people we don't like if we can help it. So there's that. When it moves into Scorpio, you will be digging into the depths. You will be going into the cave, into the shadow, and rooting around for things and looking for things, uncovering things and dissecting and taking them apart and really becoming very discerning with the energy. So there's a little bit of that carries over into the ivy. That's where some of the perseverance and like the holding fast comes from. But from a Western perspective, the energy today is that of balance and peace and beauty and harmony and connecting, and doing so on a really mental level. So starting good conversations, you know, having meetings with people that you care about and you want to be around. From a lunar perspective, the sun or the moon just entered Scorpio, or about 5:42-ish Eastern this morning. And this morning, I mean the 30th, not tomorrow, which is likely when you're going to see this. My bad. Any whoosies. And like I said, Scorpio plumbs the depths. It is deep, it is brooding, it is serious, and it knows secrets. And it's very, very good at plumbing, at bringing these up and divulging this. And it's really hard to hide things from a Scorpio because they just have this uncanny tendency to know. So from an emotional perspective, which is the domain of the moon and our feelings and how we relate to people on that perspective, you know, it might be time to address some of those less than great feelings, you know, some of those things that you've been holding back, some of those things that maybe you don't want to deal with so much, that are still a part of who you are, and they're there for a reason. And it's time to address them and to notice them and to look at them and to pay attention to them, because they're there for a reason. They're important. And, you know, it's easy to say that something is good or something is bad, but that is entirely too simplistic approach to how life actually is. There are so many shades and variations and things. And within context, you can look at it one thing one way, or you can look at it another way. So let's not try to oversimplify things and just appreciate the breadth of life and our human experience for what it is, which is varied, complicated, and complex, and interesting. So there's that. Yay! Now, moving on to the numerology, the day resonates to a 336. Now, right off the bat, what strikes me is the attitude number plus the birthday number equals the life path number. That doesn't necessarily happen terribly often, but I always try to notice when you see patterns of numbers like that, that's kind of underlining something, which we'll get to in just a minute. Now, the attitude number is the first number we will look at, and from the perspective of that number, these are the problems that you're going to have. These are the issues that are going to come up today, and specifically for today, which means later. This doesn't matter. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to be so late. I always put off these videos because they're so freaking long, and brain. So yeah, stuff, things, walnuts. Anywho, yeah. So the problems that we have from 3 is you're scattered. Can't think of where we're getting that energy from or where you're seeing examples of that. But you're scattered, you're all over the place. You may not take things seriously. You could feel like people are making fun of you, or just, you know, not bothering to listen to what you're saying, or to kind of putting you down. It's sucking the joy out of things. So from a negative perspective, that's some of what it comes out. So that would be the problems and issues that would come up today. Now, the funny thing is, the talents, which is denoted by the birthday number in the guise of a person and the guise of a day, you're like, these are the things that you need to cultivate to get through this day, is the other side of 3, which again is being fluid and creative and communicative and not sweating the small stuff and not worrying about things and finding the happiness, the joy, the laughter in things. So to combat the just crappy sides, you need to flip the coin. You need to look at things from another's perspective and see how this thing could actually be looked at as this thing, which again is context and shifting things. So there's that. Finally, the last number is, this is the overall, just like the stage upon which the day has played out. And that is, that energy is 6, and 6 is about community. And generally speaking, when we talk about community with 6, we're talking about your neighborhood, your region, your extended family. That's the community. On a personal level, 2 is me and you, 1-to-1. 3 can be like a family unit or a small group of friends. And then 6 gets larger than that. And then 9 is global and ancestral, and a deeper connection, like well and far beyond, you know, just the people around you. And you can look at 6 from a state, from a region, from a country perspective, or you can look at it from your neighborhood and your literal geographic location, like that's very close by. But it's also friends and family, people that you're connected to that maybe you're not super intimately connected to. So the importance of community here is when we come together, we're stronger. We can support each other. We can help each other. It means that things get distributed. You don't have to do all the work. You don't have to go it alone. And in this day and age, community is important as hell. It's really easy, especially in the Western culture, to focus on going it alone. There's all this talk of bootstrapping and just, fake it till you make it and do your own thing. And that's exhausting. And it's not a sustainable way to live. We as a species are social creatures. And while there's always outliers to every group and to every way to contextualize and categorize things, for the most part, we need each other and we need to act like it. So, how are you supportive today? Where did you need support? And how did you see that play out throughout the day? And just, think about it, right? Even though this energy shifts tomorrow, it's worth thinking about it. It's worth considering it, because you never know the things that it'll bring up that you can use going forward. So, bringing it all together. Again, from an astrological perspective, there's a lot of talk about rooting around, about searching and looking for things and treasures and being able to discern what's helpful from what's not. Digging in the depths and the deep and uncovering things and bringing things to the surface, and also just confronting things. So you've got that. And when we confront things, when we bring them out into the light and we can clearly see what they are, it's a lot easier to make a decision about them than, if you're just closing your eyes, you're not addressing or paying attention to things. You really can't make a decision on something that you're not actually acquainted with, because you're not actually making it on any kind of basis of fact or anything. It's just nothing. You're quite literally making it up, which everything is made up, like, really. But you're making it without any basis, without any foundation, which is a problem because it can be very unhelpful and very faulty and just flat out wrong or not a good use of your time. So let's not do that. And then numerologically, we see that the problems and the solutions come from the same vector. And when you bring them together, you bring about community and care and support. And the funny thing about that is, there's a message of totality there. All right, we can look at one side of the three and you can see it as scattered and not taking things seriously. You can look at the other side of it and it's varied and it's joy-filled and it's fun-loving. And it's not sweating the small stuff, and it's not worrying about things. And so, depending on the context and the situation and all the other factors, some of these things may be helpful. Some of them may not be helpful, but they're all a part of the package. And, you don't get to pick and choose what you get to deal with. It is, you get what you get, and you can make the most of it. And that's really what this energy is to make the most of it, to persevere, to push through anyway, and do what you can. Because that's all you can do. So, what did I do for today? Well, for those of you who don't know, if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen me do one of these before, this is the day that generally I take off. I take off the Sabbaths, I take off the S-Bats, I take off the Celtic Tree Months, and I try to take off the weekends, although that doesn't work very often. So I try to just take it easy, and if I get something done, awesome, sweet, great. But generally speaking, I don't. And I don't worry about it. And mostly I've been forced this whole taking days off because I won't. I will just work and 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 work ad nauseum, which is a problem. So yeah, we don't want to continue to do that. So I've been trying. This is something new that I've not quite gotten the hang of. But on these days, I also usually do a lot of catch up. So if there's tasks that I had to get done, You know, I can try to use this day that doesn't have other stuff scheduled on it to get that done. And I absolutely ran into some roadblocks. I absolutely had to persevere because I have a list of things that I have to share and connect with other people, which is, there goes that Libra energy coming through. And I kept hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. This has happened, this has happened, this is slow, I can't do this, I gotta do this now. And so it was a lot of frustration. But instead of just giving up, I pushed through, I reached out, and I made it happen. So, my question for you today is, what did you do to celebrate this energy? Generally, I would be asking what you're doing, but it's late, so not so much. And a little offer, if you look down in the description, scroll down to the end, you'll see a bunch of links. And if you would like a reading, if that is something that interests you, or you would like to get, you know, it's a special day. People like to do stuff like this. You want to look at the next month or the next 6 months or next year, you can check out my Lenormand readings or energetic resonance sessions, which is a more open-ended, and I will use everything and all kinds of things. And you get a larger amount of my time and my attention and energy, and we can cover a lot more. But whichever one, it's there. If you're interested, if you know somebody is, share it with them. That's great. Awesome. Thanks. But really, what's more important is, if you like this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe. You can hit that notification bell so that you get a little ding when I put out a video, whatever that is, which is on this channel, you know, maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. So there's that. But also, I would love to have you come over to Patreon and join me. And what I will do is, at the very top of this description, I will put the Patreon link if you want to come over there. The main link for just my page in general is at the bottom with all the links to my website and other things. But I would love to have you there. And if you like this video and you know somebody else, share it with them. This is public. They're going to stay public. We're going to do this for the duration of October, see where it takes us, and then go from there. So, thank you. Bon appetit, mes amis. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's a Kalends. Yay, Kalends! So it's the first day of October, which means it's the Kalen cast. So stay tuned for my review, what's going on, and I'll see you tomorrow.